All right, we are here for deep stretch today, which we're super excited about. It's going to be a really nice class, nice long 1 to 2 minute holds. We are going to start on our mat. So on our mat, crisscross applesauce. Now, if being on your mat and having your legs crisscross applesauce basically is a little uncomfortable, you feel free to put those legs out wide. It doesn't really matter. You can also have them in butterfly stretch, so don't feel like you have to have them in crisscross applesauce. And a big thing with our deep stretch today and every day really is we still want to have very good posture when we're doing our stretches to make sure we have balance throughout the body. So as we're sitting on our mat, I want you to have a nice high chest. I want you to look straight forward. Make sure that your shoulders aren't in your ears. So drop those shoulders down. And let's just start with some big breaths into the nose. Fill that belly up, all the way up like a balloon. And then exhale through pursed lips or through a straw, almost like you're blowing out in a straw. Good. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And just kind of go ahead and feel free to like wiggle your spine a little bit. You can kind of, shimmy your shoulders slowly and just start to really make sure your body's here. And we're just going to kind of drop into that space of where we're moving our body. And we're just going to basically open up that spine a little bit. So you can shimmy your shoulders back and forth. You can do little twists with your spine as you're seated. And so what that does is my glutes are anchored, but my spine is nice and long because I'm sitting up. I'm looking straight ahead. My shoulders are dropped down. And I'm just starting to get some space between each vertebrae to make sure that my spine is kind of ready to move. And all that time, we're just inhaling slowly through our nose, feeling those feeling those ribs widen, and exhaling through our nose. And you can keep your legs in crisscross applesauce. I am going to bring mine out into a V. Like I said, I just kind of tweaked my knee a little bit last week. So what we're going to do is a seated cat-cow. So you can take both palms of your hands, place them on the pads of your quads or just on top of your quads. And we're going to go into cat first. So you're going to tuck your chin to your chest, round your shoulders forward towards your toes, and push your spine back away towards your glutes or away from your feet. And as you do that, you're just breathing. So it's just a modified cat. Again, what this does is with our butts or our glutes just anchored into the ground, is it really isolates our spinal movements. So you're breathing and you're just holding that cat pose, trying to push that spine away a little bit more. And you can use your hands that are just hanging on your quads and just push down on them a little bit to kind of use that to create that resistance into cat. Good. And then you're going to push your head up, looking towards the ceiling. And I want you to now pinch your shoulder blades together. Head goes up and then push your belly out. Now from this position, it might feel a little weird, but you're going to push that belly out into cow pose. Inhaling and exhaling. Again, we're just getting some really good spinal movement. We have a lot of different types of exercises today, and so I just want to make sure we get that spine warmed up first. And we're just breathing. And as we exhale, letting that belly push out away, creating a C curve in our back. And go ahead, we're going to alternate between cat and cow now. So you can do it with your breath as you wish, inhaling to cat, tucking that chin, rounding those shoulders, pushing that spine away. And you can exhale to cow, let all that air out, shoulders go back, pinch together, my head goes up, push that belly out. Just go back and forth, feel where you need to go. If you need to have an extra second or an extra breath in either of those poses, that's fine. Again, we're just getting that spine ready. And again, if you want to move your shoulders in any way, my shoulders are apparently a little sore today. Feel free to just move where your body feels like it needs to go. Good. Beautiful. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, from here, you're going to keep those hands on your quads, and we're just going to roll our shoulders. But how we're going to do that is we're going to, excuse me, we're going to keep our hands anchored onto our thighs and just push down a little bit. You're going to roll your shoulders backwards, but then as you go forward, I want you to push into your quads a little bit. And just feel how that's a little bit different as we're rolling our shoulders forward. So not going back, and really accentuate that roll of the shoulders. So push forward. As I push forward towards my toes, my weight goes into my hands. As I push back, my elbows go back, my chest goes up. As I push up, my shoulders go to my ears. That's the only time you'll hear me say that. We always want to keep our shoulders nice and low, not into our ears. But for this, we are just getting some mobility. This is warming us up for when we are on all fours a little bit for downward dog a little bit later, when we're doing our downward dog to tabletop deep stretch. Good. All right. For 5, oh, sorry, I meant to go backwards now. So if you want to go ahead and go backwards, just rolling, really exaggerating that movement. Beautiful. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and take your legs out into a wide V if they're not in there. So nice and wide. You can walk those heels out away from each other. So nice wide V. And you can scoot your glutes up if you want to. I want you to have a feeling of stretching in your inner thighs, maybe in your hamstrings. So we just want to have that nice stretch as we're kind of starting to do these movements. We're going to take both hands, we're going to place them behind our head, and we're going to just do some torso twists. We're not going to twist down to our knees. We're just going to twist to the left. We're going to twist to the left as far as we can, and we're going to hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. My hands are still behind my head. I want my elbows nice and wide. We don't want chicken wings. We want nice wide arms. And we're going to rotate to our right. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Inhale. As you exhale, go back to the left. I want you to have a nice high chest. So don't round those shoulders. Don't round that back. Nice high chest as we rotate that torso and try to go a little deeper. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale. Rotate to the right and try to go a little deeper. Let that elbow lead you back for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to center. Go ahead and shake out those arms. You can shake out your legs a little bit too. Beautiful. We're going into our first, not a circuit, but we call it kind of first seated and supine deep stretches. And again, we'll be holding these for about 2 minutes. And I'm pretty good at watching the clock. So we're going to sit up nice and straight. Again, drop those shoulders down. My glutes are anchored. My feet are nice and wide. You can point or flex your toes during this kind of series. And so that's up to you. Whatever feels good or whatever feels like you're getting a deeper stretch, feel free to just point or flex your toes. We're going to start with a forward fold in the V stretch. So a seated forward fold. Please just listen to my cues. And we're going to start with inhaling. Exhaling, bring those hands up over your head. But before you go into that forward fold, we're going to reach towards the ceiling. And I want us to, again, stretch that spine. You can look straight ahead. But reach those hands up, and we're going to pretend like we're climbing a ladder. So reaching your right arm up to grab that ladder rung, and then reaching your left hand up while my glutes are anchored. And just kind of getting a nice little oblique side stretch before we go into that forward fold hold. Reaching and stretching. Inhale. As you exhale, hinge at the hip and slowly reach those hands out away from your body, staring into the ground, letting gravity do the work to then sink into that forward fold. Your hands can just relax out in front of you, your head looking straight through the ground, and just breathing, letting your spine grow long as you fold forward. And we're just holding. Deep breaths, inhaling. As you exhale, can you go a little deeper into that stretch? If you want to walk your hands or your fingertips away, that might allow you to go a little deeper too. Working with your breath. Big inhales and exhales, letting gravity do the work. And again, you can point or flex your toes. You can alternate, up to you. You should feel that stretch and just that release coming. We're at about 30 to 40 seconds. Just really allowing that myofascia, those muscle fibers, that lactic acid to just melt away. Good. About 40 more seconds left. Can you go a little deeper? You want to have slight discomfort, not pain, but slight discomfort. And as soon as it starts to melt and it relieves a little bit, see if you can go a little deeper. That's how we get into those deep muscle fibers. We have to hold, continue to breathe, and then go a little deeper. Walk those fingertips out. And again, make sure you're looking through the ground. I don't want you to look up because I don't want you to be straining that neck. For about 20 more seconds, I'll do a countdown. Can you go a little deeper? Point or flex those toes, not toes. Good. Inhale and exhale for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale back to that seated position. Go ahead and adjust your legs if you'd like to. We're still going to be in this V. Our legs are still going to be in a V. So a nice wide V, and you can widen those a little bit more if you want, scooting your glute forward or your legs back towards your glutes. We're going to do a nice seated side bend. I'm going to have my left hand just resting on my left leg. I'd like you to take your right hand, reach over your ear, have a nice high chest, really good straight spine. Reach your right hand over your right ear and bend towards your left. Now, as you do this, I don't want you to roll forward so that your weight goes towards the center of your body. I want you to keep your weight over to your side, almost like you're crunching that oblique as you bend to the side. And see how that feels different. I'm not leaning forward. I'm really trying to keep my center of gravity to the side. Reaching and stretching. Let your head hang. Inhaling and exhaling. Go deeper into that stretch and just really let that right oblique stretch. That left one is crunching. You can hold your toe up if you want to with your left hand or keep it relaxed. It's up to you. Let your body just find where it needs to stretch. And that deep stretch really does move. So, as you, again, relax in, we're about 30 seconds. You might feel that relief. You can go a little deeper. You can shift your weight a little bit if you want to and see, oh, that's a little bit tighter. I need to work that more. So much of this is just listening to your body. If you want to go deeper, but the gravity's not doing it for you, you can also take your left hand and put it under your calf or grab by your ankle and pull your body closer towards your left leg. That's an option too. Good. About 40 more seconds left. Can you go a little deeper? Let that head hang. Reach and stretch. 15 seconds. We're going to go to the other side. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come back up to center and go ahead and just straighten your back, straighten your spine out before we go to the other side. Big inhale, big exhale. On your next inhale, exhale, we're going to bring that left arm up. Inhale. Exhale, bring that left arm up over your ear. And again, we're reaching to the side. We're not rolling our weight forward. And we're reaching towards that right foot, keeping our center of gravity over our hips, over our quad of our legs, and not rolling forward. Letting that head hang to the right, reaching and holding. You might find that this side's a little bit tighter, or it might even actually feel a little bit more relaxed because we did the other side. So just listening to our bodies and paying attention to maybe what side feels better, what might feel tighter. Good. Letting that head hang. Good. You're still breathing, letting that gravity do its work. And if you want to, you can pull your right ear towards your right knee just a little deeper for 30 more seconds. 15 seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale and exhale back to center. Beautiful job. We're going to put our feet together. So we're going to I like to say zip our legs up. So put your feet together with your toe. If there was a zipper from your toe to your glutes, just zip those legs up and let's squeeze them together. And we're going to just do another forward fold before we do a figure 4 stretch. So go ahead and sit up nice and straight. Inhale. As you exhale, bring those hands up over our head, reaching and stretching, and then slowly come down towards those toes for a forward fold with our legs together. Now this might feel a little different, and so we always want to try some different postures with our forward folds, but especially if you are already stretched a little bit, you can find that you go a little deeper. If you have a little bit of a belly like I do, sometimes I don't go as far in the stretch, but it's still good to do because it stretches your shoulders in a different way and also your feet. You can point your toes or you can flex them. And we're just holding this position for about 1.5 minutes. I'm going to do this one slightly less, but not too much less, because we have one more fold after this, after a figure 4 stretch. And we're breathing. Again, I want you to look straight through the ground. Don't crane your neck up. You want to have a nice long spine. You can round those shoulders in this position if you like to. And if you want to grab your toes, you can do that as well. Good. 30 more seconds. Make sure you're still breathing. Big, deep belly breaths. You want to deflate that belly all the way because we can sink into that deeper stretch when we do. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and come back to seated. Roll those shoulders backwards 3 times and then forward 3 times. And go ahead and just stretch your neck to the left or the right. We're going to do our seated figure 4 stretch. I'm going to do my right leg first. So I want you to take both hands and grab your right leg right at the ankle and the shin. You're going to place that right ankle either just behind your knee towards your glutes or rest it on your shin, whatever is more comfortable. And you can also move this as the stretch gets held longer. If it feels like you need to go deeper, you can pull that ankle towards your body. Inhale. And as you exhale, we're going to start that deep hold stretch. Now, when we're doing this, I want you to have a nice high chest. I want you to have a nice long spine, almost like you're engaging your core the whole time. And to kind of get some movement, you can feel free to rock a little bit, left to right, just a little bit, and see if you feel where it might be a little bit tighter in your hip flexors. So this is a great stretch if we sit too much, or if I think some people were sore from yesterday's workout. So if your hip flexors are really tight, just rock back and forth a little bit and find where you feel that tightness. And then I want you to lean into it, literally. I want you to say, oh, that feels tight. I'm going to put my weight into that spot and just hold it. And that's where we're going to start that deep stretch. And we're going to breathe. And exhale. And now we want to imagine that tightness melting away, or like Swiss cheese. So the fascia in our body, it's all the connective tissue to the muscle fibers. And what we want that to look like when it's at the optimal kind of state is Swiss cheese, or like a sponge. There's a lot of space between it because there's nothing in there blocking it from its kind of full mobility, if you will. Now we've been going about 45 seconds. So if it's released and you're feeling a relax, I want you to rock a little bit more or pull that leg in. Find a spot where you need to really deepen that stretch, lean that weight into it, and let's go for the last 45 seconds deepening that stretch. And really, I think deepening the release more so. You know, we want to have that discomfort and then we want it to go away. Good. Now, I just realized, because I do this all the time, my shoulders were at my ears. Drop those shoulders, sit up straight as you're stretching. We want to make sure we have good posture. 15 seconds for this leg. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently put that leg back down. Beautiful job. And before we grab that other leg, let's just do an inhale and an exhale. Adjust our spine, roll those shoulders forward and back to make sure that they're nice and relaxed. Now go ahead and grab that left leg. You can use 2 hands to pull that left leg closer. This leg for me today is tighter, so I'm going to put that ankle actually below my knee. I'm not going to pull it towards my knee right now. And I might shift that as we hold. And you can begin breathing. Nice, good posture, looking straight ahead. Inhaling and exhaling as we do this figure 4 stretch. And if you want, if you're not feeling maybe as deep of a discomfort as you'd like, you can rock a little bit, find where that stretch is needed, and then lean your weight into it to allow that optimal release. Inhaling and exhaling. Imagining like you have a piece of, these are all analogies, you guys can laugh at me later, but I love a visual. It's like a solid piece of cheddar cheese, and we're going to turn it into Swiss cheese. So our muscles are going to start to create space as they pull and stretch and deepen. You're going to start to see those holes, allowing that space. We've been going 45 seconds. So if again, you feel a little relief because you just created that Swiss cheese space in our fascia, deepen it a little bit more. Lean your weight into somewhere else that feels like it needs to go. Really releasing those hip flexors that get super, super tight. Good. Our hips actually hold a lot of our stored emotions too. Something I love to read about is where we store emotions in our body. And so hips are a really big one for us. It's just for some reason where unprocessed emotions like to sit. So a lot of people have lower back and hips that get a little creaky. I know I'm one of them. 15 seconds. Can you go any deeper? For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come out of that. We're actually going to go right into the butterfly stretch. So you're going to put both the bottoms of your feet together and you're going to pull those heels, excuse me, towards your glutes. So my hands are just resting on my ankles and my shins. I want you to have a nice high back again. So I like neutral spine. I don't want you to have your spine rounded or your shoulders rounded. Nice straight spine. Lifting your chest and the top of your head towards the ceiling. Good. And we're just going to hold this butterfly stretch. You can use your elbows if you want to push your outside of your legs down. And we're just going to hold. And again, you can rock with this one if you like. You can shift your weight forward now if it's like, I am not feeling a good enough stretch. Feel free to lean your weight forward to get more of a stretch kind of in like the back side of your hamstrings, maybe a little bit of your hip flexors or the inside of your thighs. So feel free to just move around like we did with figure 4 to find that spot that needs more stretching. And we've been going about 45 seconds, so about 45 more. Big inhales and exhales. And again, it's okay if your spine is no longer straight, if you need to move or bend to really get that stretch in. For me, I found that I needed to lean forward and a little bit to the left and then the right to kind of get that deeper stretch. 20 more seconds. Let that gravity do the work. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax. We're going to go to our next series, which is the kneeling and lunge series. If you don't like kneeling, this is where you can stay standing, and I'll give you the option for that. If you're standing, you are going to want a wall or a desk or something that's basically that you can put your weight into, not a chair that has wheels. We don't want to make that mistake. So you can get into tabletop position on your knees, or if you're on the wall, you can just step about, I wouldn't say a body length, but maybe a half a body length away from the wall and just place both hands on the wall. And I'm just going to give everybody about 30 seconds to get into that position. Good. Now we're going to do a low lunge. So if you're on the ground in that tabletop position, you're going to bring your weight up so that you're on your knees. Your glutes won't be touching your heels. You'll just be kind of straight-legged with your knees on the ground. And you're going to take your right leg and bring your right leg out into a lunge. If you're on the wall, your hands are going to be on the wall. You're going to move your left leg back and then put your right leg into a 90-degree angle and just kind of leaning your weight on the wall. That's where we're going to start. So we're in a lunge, a supported lunge position because my knee or my left knee or my left foot are just supporting the right side. So for this low lunge, what we're going to do is our foot's going to stay grounded on the mat. I'm going to have, and then I'm going to push my right knee towards the wall, the opposite wall, or towards my toe, which really just means my hips are pushing forward so that I'm getting a stretch in my left hip. So it's kind of a low lunge where I'm really just stretching and reaching towards the wall. And you're just pushing those hips forward as you're looking straight ahead, just to get a nice little stretch. Now, if you're on the wall, your back left foot might be on its tippy toe. Your heel's not going to be down. You're going to be pushing kind of that left hip into the wall. And you're just looking straight ahead, and we're just holding that position as we're in that low lunge. Good. We're just looking straight through, inhaling and exhaling. We've been going for about a minute. Beautiful. Really focusing on how can I really stretch that hip and get that, excuse me, extra work in the front side of my hip. We've done a lot of hip flexor. Good. 30 more seconds. Beautiful work. 15 seconds. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can relax a little bit and just come back up to that kneeling position or that standing position. Your hands can relax. We're going to now do on the same side a half split hamstring stretch. And what that is you're going to, instead of pushing your hips forward from that kneeling position, my right leg, we're still doing the right side, you're now going to push your hips back. So your hips are going to go back and my right leg is not going to be bent anymore. It's actually going to be extended in front of me. And if I'm on my mat, both hands are going to go on the ground. You can do your one hand on either side of your leg or on both sides. And now you're getting a nice hamstring stretch. You can point those toes towards your nose. So shifting that weight back so that my leg's fully extended on the mat. If you're on the wall, what that's going to look like is your right leg, you're going to push those hips back, anchoring your weight into the wall, pointing your toes towards your nose, almost like you're doing a modified calf stretch without using the wall. So you get that hamstring. You want to stretch that hamstring, toes pointing up, pushing those hips back towards your heel and just breathing. Good. This is the only, yeah.
Stacey, do my glutes go down to touch my left heel?
They don't have to go down. They can just go back. They can go down, but they don't have to. So if it feels better, if it's a deeper stretch, either way, I would choose that. So they can touch your heel or they don't. Mine don't when I'm kneeling. I find it better to kind of hover, but really up to you. Great question, Heidi. It's funny. I was thinking that of explaining that actually before we did it. We got about 1 minute left. Can you deepen or put any more weight on that right leg to kind of get a deeper stretch into that hamstring? So again, when we use our weight on single leg movements in a safe way, it can help us to kind of deepen the impact of the stretch. 30 seconds. Point those toes towards your nose. If your foot relaxed, try to really stretch them up. Using your breath. If it's uncomfortable, breathing in, exhaling out. Breathing in that gratitude and allowing that space to make space in our body and our muscle fibers. And then exhale all that stuff we want to get rid of, like lactic acid. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead and relax. You can go back into tabletop position just to give everything a little bit of a break. We'll do that for about 30 seconds. And then we're going to do our left side. If you're standing, you can just stand and relax. We're going to do the exact same thing on the left side, and then we're off our knees. So just so everybody knows, it's about 4 more minutes on our knees, and then we're done with that. And then we'll kind of go into our quad stretches. So if you're ready, we're about 15 seconds away. You can go ahead and adjust yourself again from tabletop position to bringing your weight up so that you're over your knees and you're kind of not standing tall, but kneeling tall. You're going to take that left leg out now in front of you, put it flat on the ground, toes facing away from your body. You have a nice 90-degree angle in that left leg. And we're going to push those hips towards our toes, or push those hips away from us to the opposite wall. Nice high chest, looking straight ahead. Again, that's if we're kneeling. If you're on the wall, your hands are going to anchor you into the wall. You're going to have that 90-degree angle in that left leg. And then I want you to place your weight on your back foot. If you're standing, on the ball of your foot, pushing those hips, pushing that right hip towards the opposite wall or towards the wall. And we're just holding, really feeling that deep stretch in our lower pelvic region, excuse me, onto our quad. And we're breathing, inhaling and exhaling for 1 more minute. If it started to relax a little bit, feel free to go a little deeper, adding some weight to that side. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. 30 seconds. And I'm sure most of you are working out with not an audience. And so this is really the time to really just do exaggerated breathing. I would say anytime we're working out, but especially in deep stretch. Let all of the air out in your exhale so that you can really just sink into that stretch. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can relax just about 10 seconds, and we're going to go into that half split hamstring stretch where we now push our hips backwards, extending that left leg so that our weight is being pushed backwards to give a hamstring stretch on our left leg. So if you're on the wall, which I am right now, inhale. As you exhale, push your hips back towards your right leg. Curl those your left toes up towards your nose, and just push your weight onto that left leg to get a nice hamstring stretch. If you're on your mat, you're going to push those hips back towards your heel. They don't have to touch your heel, but you're going to push your hips back. Your hands can go on the mat, either on one side of the mat. Sorry. You can have one hand on one side of your leg or the other, or both on the same side, whatever's more comfortable. You're going to point those toes towards your nose, and you're going to just get a nice, good hamstring stretch. Inhaling and exhaling, holding it. We will be off of our knee in about 1:30. Good. Shift those hips back, keeping the spine lifted if you can as you reach. Good. This is our kneeling and lunge series, and you are all crushing it. Good. 1 more minute. Can you go a little deeper? All these exercises we're doing in this kneeling and lunge series too are really good for our ankles and our ankle strength. So we want really good Achilles and ankle strength. And so when we do single leg movements like this, where we're isolating those muscles, it does really help build our flexibility, but also our strength in those really important muscles that hold our legs together, like our ankles and our Achilles. 20 seconds, inhaling and exhaling, go a little deeper. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful job. You can go down to your belly and relax into the mat. Wonderful job. Go ahead and just breathe and just relax into your mat. If you were standing, move into your mat. You can place your hands in a diamond on the mat and just rest your forehead if you want. Just giving you a 30-second to 45-second transition. We're going to do a little a little quad stretch. And then we'll do our chest openers. And then we're going to go to our flow to standing. So we have about 10 minutes left of class. So for our quad stretch, I like to do it on the side lying, so it's a little bit different. Again, if half our body's anchored into the ground, we have to work the other half that we're moving a little bit harder, because a lot of times we overcompensate, like with throwing our weight around. So I'm on my belly right now. You can either do this from the belly or you can roll to your side, whichever is easier, but you're going to grab your right ankle or your right pant leg or your right shin or your right foot, and you're just going to pull your heel or move your heel towards your glute for a quad stretch. Now, I roll to my side to do this because it's easier for me to grab one of my legs. The other one I can do from any angle, but my right leg, for some reason, I just can't get it to like be flexible. So we're working on it. But I'm going to just hold that heel towards my glute and just relax my head on my arm or relax my head on the mat and just stretch and hold that quad for that quad, or sorry, hold that foot for that quad stretch. Breathing in through the belly, big belly breaths. You can also breathe into that space. So if you want to imagine your breath expanding the space that's stretching, that also is a great technique when deep stretching. Focusing our attention on what needs to be worked or stretched. This is our quad stretch. For 1 more minute. You should hopefully feel a little bit of a release. So if you want to drive that knee away from your body, shifting that heel closer to your glute, you can. You can arch your back a little bit to do that. Breathing, stretching and releasing. 30 seconds. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release. And we're going to roll onto our bellies or onto our sides, and we're going to grab our other leg, so our left leg, and we're going to begin that quad stretch on the other side. It is amazing how much easier I can grab my left foot, I tell you. All right, pulling that left foot towards our glute. Let everything else in your body relax and just bring all that attention to that quad. Beautiful. We only have about 10 minutes left of class. You guys are crushing it. Inhaling in your belly. Exhaling to release. Can you pull that foot closer to your glute? Can you push that knee away from your body to create a longer quad? Good. About 45 seconds left. Can you go any deeper? $20 seconds left. Or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently release and roll onto your belly if you've not been in your belly yet. Good. Okay, we're going to look straight through the ground. I want you to take your hands and place them on the small of your back. Now, if you're able, link your fingers together to really kind of stretch those shoulders back. So go ahead and reach your hands back behind your back to the small of your back. Now, if that's too hard, it's okay. You can just tuck your hands where your pockets are. If you're really flexible, you can grab your forearms behind your back. But we're just looking straight through the ground and putting our hands in the small of our back and just holding there just for a little chest opener. Squeeze those shoulder blades together, which will really just push your elbows back towards each other as you look through the ground. And we're going to breathe. As you're breathing, I want you to look up a little bit. So look up towards the sky, keep breathing, and put your head back down, look down. Look to the right. Come back to center. Look to the left. Push those shoulder blades and those elbows together. Inhale. As you exhale, bring your hands out to the side and put them on the ground in a T, palms facing down. From here, I just want you to look straight through the ground, and I want you to press your right shoulder into the ground a little bit. So press your right shoulder into the ground and just hold it there. I want you to shift your weight towards your right. As that right shoulder is pressing down to the ground, go ahead and shift your weight to the right side of your body. You can use your left hand to kind of push more weight up, so we're just getting a little bit of a deeper stretch into that right shoulder. You're not like fully on the shoulder or fully on your side, just getting a little stretch in that right shoulder. And we're breathing. Come back down to center. We're going to do the same thing on the left side. Push that left shoulder into the mat. Now go ahead and shift your weight to the left side. You can use your right arm to kind of push your left shoulder into the ground a little bit more, rotating your weight to the left side a little bit. Not drastically. We're not trying to like put all of our weight on our shoulder. We're just doing a little bit of a shoulder opener. Good. Gently come back to center. Take the bottoms of your hands and place your thumbs so that they're in line with your armpits. We're going to tuck your elbows in. We're going to do some cobra pose. So tuck your elbows in, push your weight into your hands, lifting your chest up so that your elbows are fully extended. You're going to look up to the sky. And we're just going to get a nice belly stretch in here. And you're just going to inhale and exhale. As you exhale, I want you to let your belly really hang out and then try to press your shoulders up to the ceiling a little bit more. Using your breath, as you're pushing those shoulders up, you should feel a stretch in your abdomen, maybe in ways that you haven't before, maybe you have. So you're using your breath to expand your belly as you're also stretching. Good. Really breathing in through your nose, out through your mouth for 5, 4, 3, tuck your elbows in and slowly come back down. We are going to go into our child's pose and we're going to put our heels together. From here, you're going to widen your knees out to the side. You're going to use your hands to press your hips and weight back towards your heels. Looking through the ground, but your head is between each arm and you're just child's pose, just relaxing into it. You can rest your head on the mat. You can also put your weight in and drop your weight to your forearms, using your elbows to push those hips back towards your heels for a little child's pose and letting your head relax and hang. Good. Now we only have one more exercise that we're going to hold for 2 minutes, and that is going to be downward dog to give a really good calf stretch. If downward dog is difficult for you from tabletop position, you can go to the wall and I'll give you that modification. We're going to inhale and exhale to tabletop. So inhale, exhale to tabletop position, where I'm going to be on my knees. My hands are going to be flat on the ground. My wrists, elbows, and shoulders are all in line. If you're going to do downward dog from standing, I want you to now stand up and go to the wall, putting your, putting your hands flat on the wall, but move your feet out about a body length away. From tabletop position, you will tuck your toes under, press your hips up to the ceiling, and begin downward dog, letting your head hang in between. And you want to make sure that your heels are really trying to touch the mat to give you that ultimate stretch. Go ahead and begin downward dog from the tabletop position, driving those heels to the mat, letting your head hang between your shoulders. If you're on the wall, what that's going to look like is I'm a body length away, My heels are in the ground. I'm going to push my hips out towards my heels, keeping my knees just at a gentle, basically not locking my knees, but only a gentle bend, pushing my heels out away. You can move your feet in too. Actually, a body's length was too far for me. So maybe like a half a body length, move your feet in, push those hips out as you look through your hands towards your feet, keeping your heels on the ground. We've been going about 45 seconds. We have 45 more seconds, excuse me, of downward dog. And we're going to go into our last forward fold to our finishing pose. Inhaling and exhaling. I know downward dog can be a lot of work, and so it's really just focusing on your breath, controlling your breath, letting your head relax. Don't feel like you need to stress it out. Getting those heels to touch the mat. 30 seconds left. You are all crushing it. We're going to be standing in just a minute, and we're almost done with class. Good. For 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gently stand up, and you can center yourself on your mat for our last forward folds and just our closing pose. So I'm just going to give everyone about 30 seconds to just kind of right themselves on their mat. Regulate your breath. Nice big inhales and exhales. You can start to give your body gratitude and you gratitude for showing up today. We're going to take our feet hip width distance or shoulder width distance, whatever's comfortable. Give yourself a nice slight knee bend. Nice high chest. Engage that core. So let's tuck that pelvic floor in. We're going to do 3 forward folds in a row, and you're just going to listen to my cues. They're a little different each time. We're going to inhale. As we exhale, reach those hands up over our head. And just like we did when we're seated, we're going to pretend that we're climbing a ladder. So our tailbone's going to be nice and heavy, and our upward motion of reaching for those rungs on the ladder is going to start to stretch that spine up. Inhale, and as you exhale, hinge at the hip, reaching your hands out away from your body first, not going down towards your toes. Slowly reaching out away, looking straight down through the ground as you come into a deep forward fold. You're going to let your head hang and your arms hang. Inhale. As you exhale, tuck your pelvic floor first, your tailbone first. Slowly begin to stand, stacking each vertebrae on top of one another until you're standing again. Good. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, bring those hands up over your head. Tuck your tailbone first, reaching out away from your body, coming down to the ground into a forward fold again. This time, you're going to let your head hang, but you're going to grab your elbows. So grab each elbow, push your right elbow towards the ground, then push your left elbow towards the ground, and just alternate. See how that feels. Good. Now drop your hands, let your head hang, and shake your head yes, shake your head no. Inhale. Exhale, slowly come back up to standing. Now for our final forward fold, this is the swan dive. And if you've never taken a class to me, I want you to make sure that we're not actually diving. We're just doing the motion of a dive. So keep your feet firmly planted in the ground. A nice soft knee bend. Your pelvic floor is engaged. Bring your hands up over your head and then put a pancake on top of one each other. So put one hand over each other, just like you're about to dive in the pool, but our feet are not leaving the ground. Inhale. Exhale, in one swift motion, dive those fingers tips towards your feet for one nice fluid motion. Inhale and exhale and come back to standing. Go ahead and shake out your body. Good. Go ahead and give your right shoulder a high five or a tap on the back. Give your left shoulder a high five or tap on the back. I love to do muscle kisses too. You can make some muscles. Kiss your right muscle, kiss your left muscle. And great job showing up today, everybody. That was our deep stretch on this beautiful Tuesday. Thank you so much.